What's up? I could not get the camera to work again. I got to get something new, I guess. What is happening, folks? I really would like to change the camera if it'll let me. I guess I've had it long enough. It makes sense. It would fail now. What's up, Craig, Wild Bill, Tim? I'd really rather have the other camera. Dang it. Nice, Chandler. F-22 action. I don't want to buy new things. It worked. We'll see how long it lasts. What is happening? I've been playing with 3D print stuff. Got an F-22 flight. Full moon tomorrow, says Bill. Yeah, what are you guys up to? You get to fly? Let me know. What's up, Stevie Neal? Wiggles? Jeff in Lower Alabama? Maiden on the air tractor, says Bill. Nice. We made into a snow shovel. No, I'm kidding. We already had it. Not too bad, though. Snow and ice. Yeah, man. We went out and ran in the snow Saturday morning. That was fun. Nice. Conshindo, Ultramicro Waco. Good deal, dude. Remaiden, P38. So does a Remaiden exist? We're going to get philosophical tonight. Does a Remaiden exist? Or is it simply a Remaiden after a repair? I get it though. It feels like a maiden. If you've done repairs or set up any configuration changes, I feel like remaiden is a good way to say it. Everybody uses that term. It makes sense. I'm just being funny. Yeah, it feels like a re-maiden. I get it. It is a re-maiden. I'm just being funny. It's kind of like ATM machine, right? Automatic teller machine. Re-maiden is, I mean, it's weird because you've already maidened it. So how do you maiden it again if a maiden is a first flight, but a first flight after repair makes complete sense. I get it. I've been making these little bits, man, to try to help my life when it comes to mounting these things to chassis. It's definitely a um, learning experience, but so once you get it right, it's good. It takes a few iterations to get it right, I'm afraid. But I mean, I gotta be honest with you. Like, this is a lot. Um, actually, fairly complex to get this far. I need to shorten the whole thing height wise, like 5 millimeters. And you'll find out Thursday what its job is once I get it right. So by then, there won't just be two, there will have been probably multiple attempts. But little bits like that print off in like a half hour or something, man. 40 minutes. So it's pretty cool. Just make an adjustment and go again. So that's what I'm going to do. And you'll see, I'll show you guys on Thursday what that's doing. And it's just for the lack of any other better way to get that job done. Hat cam advice. What do you want to know, Wild Bill? Hat cam advice? Here's the best hat cam advice ever. Besides, don't. I'm just playing. You know what, man? Share it out, dude. I think if hat cam's great, hat cam's fine. Whatever you do to capture your RC life and share it out is good enough. It didn't work at all. Like what? It didn't turn on, or it didn't get it in the frame, or what? So I think if you're gonna, personally, for me, if I'm doing hat cam, you have to be very diligent because look at, if like for me, let's say I put it on the bill of my hat. Well, I can stand there and fly and let my eyes do the work. You have to kind of really keep in mind to try to keep your eyes straight and really follow the thing as you're doing it. And then if you have an extra camera on the ground or something like that, that helps if you're wanting to just get something you like, take off and landings or touch and goes or something like that. I got to say, filming the micros is one of the toughest things I've ever done. So if you didn't get, what's up, Eddie K? If you didn't get a lot on a micro, I'm not even mad at you. Yeah, man. What's up, Dad? Not in frame at all. Yeah, it's tough. So was it below the frame? I mean, this is how you learn, is by, listen. Anybody who's done it has experienced what you're experiencing. So you just have to think about, was I below it? Was I above it? And make adjustments and hope. You know what I'm saying? It really is it. Like, I have my GoPro mounted pretty right on with the plane of the bill of the hat. So if the weight of the camera is bringing my bill down, I tilt it up a little. So those are kinds of things to think about, like if I was below it or above it, and make adjustments from there the best you can. And generally, and really be prepared to not let your eyeballs do the work, but to really exaggerate your tracking with your head because it's easier to stand there, let your eyes do the work. In most cases, that's fine. But if there was a camera on your head, you really got to try to look straight ahead. It's extra, but it helps a lot. It helps. Yeah. 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 If you were above it, then yep, point it down a little. Point it down a little. And man, with a hat cam for me, which is why I kind of liked having a B camera, like a tripod set up on the field, like a wider shot. Um, if you don't have to put out the whole video depending on how much editing you can do. So it's really just going to be like some of the passes that you would want anyway. The downwind leg isn't going to be much from a fixed camera or your head generally, unless you're flying in a circle around yourself, but sometimes you can do. It's hard, it's tough-ish. I wished I had the hat cam on when we went out in the snow, um, because I woulda got some wide shots of 3 crawlers in the snow tracking through the woods, look pretty cool sometimes, in a line. But generally, we're selfie sticking it, or I'll do both. With the crawler stuff, I'll do both. I'll throw one on my head so I don't have to hold the selfie stick in the phone all the time, and then if we get to a spot where it's like, "This is really good," I'll take the hat off and then just hold the hat down and get it, and then put it back on. Eddie K, man, I'm glad you're here. So, have you played with I know you have, the AS3X Plus, nose wheel stuff? There's a way to make it where your nose wheel, when it's retracted, doesn't steer, um, is what I understand, and I'm gonna play with that sometime, I think. You have not? Got it. I think there's a way to do it. I think there's a way to do it, and, I'm gonna play with that sometime. I have to update the receiver first, though, because I'm thinking about trying it in my, Viper 90, just so I can learn how to do it. Yeah. If I do it, I have to update on a Windows machine because the Mac won't do it, and then I can do it. But then I also lose everything that the Viper 90 has already, and all of a sudden, now I'm setting up a brand new receiver that was already set up and was perfect before. So, it's easy to not wanna do that job. Dude, the 1.2 T28 is awesome. What's up, Victor? Chillin'. Yeah, man. I lost mine in a daredevil accident in Alabama, and I left it there. Yeah, reprogramming something that's good to go is tough. I mean, just a baseball cap even, Bill, is what I do. I got a baseball cap with a slit in it for this cage. The bottom of this cage it's supposed to have 2 ears on it. It's been long broken, so I just got 1 slit in a hat, and that's what it is. That's all it is. And I got a GoPro. Which one am I using? 7. The Hero 7. I think it's about as good as the 8, but cheaper. I forget what is missing feature-wise, but I don't think it's a big deal. That's why I went for it. I think the savings too was a big part of it, but Hero 7's been awesome. What's up, Jerry? Axel? Maybe it's cold outside. Yeah, so Wrights is hooking up the nose wheel steering deal. Yes, you have to mix it in. Is it a mix in or is it just another flight mode? Right? Where you've got I think you mix it in, but it's still like a flight mode, right? Where you tie those channels together. And then in the flight mode where it's retracted, you eliminate the travel of that surface, which in that case is the nose wheel. What's up, Johnson 74th, Mountain RC? Dudes, Fab Rats commented on my video, that first one I did on the Willie's wagon from France Park, not the snow one. That's kind of fun to see them comment on it. A channel with about 700,000 subs coming in saying, good job, kind of. That's nice. Yeah, that was cool. You guys should all go reply to their comment and say, dude, Ryan loves you guys. It's a mixed gear steering servo, so it's disabled when up and works when down. That's how that servo works, like off of a mixer of its own, like unique or in the programming. It can be done in the programming, though, I think, with like regular situations. You can set up the gyro for the nose wheel. Yeah, Jerry, but can you also make it where the nose wheel does not steer when it's retracted also by using flight modes or AS3X Plus? I think you can. I think you can. I think you can. Just in the servo menu. It's not a function accessed through forward programming, then it sounds. I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to play with that because I don't think it's a huge deal, but for some it might be. It depends too on the throw. Like as long as that wheel or steering tiller doesn't get impeded by anything physically when it's retracted, because you don't want to stall it out. And how much rudder are you guys going in? You're gonna try the nose wheel menu to tame in the Mustang. So what? The tail wheel then? I think you could do it with flight modes. But yeah, it would have to be a mix and its own unique. It's not trim though, it's throw. Right. Yeah, I can see that. But when someone asks, you need to know how to do it. Kinda. You can lock that tail. My thing is, yeah, maybe it will help. So what? You can lock the tail wheel so it stays put, but you can still steer your rudder? I know on the T6 you could. Um, the thing about the Mustang though is it's gonna be a handful no matter what you do. All the North American stuff is. If I upgrade the NX10 now, will it affect all my previous models? That's a good question. In my mind, and guys chime in, if you upgrade the NX10 to the Plus, well, here's the deal. You can upgrade the NX10 to the Plus, and the radio will have the Plus, but if you don't do it to the receiver, it's not there, really, right? So, kinda what's the point? Except for in the future, right? Like when you get a plane that's already got the Plus receiver in it. Now you can update your receivers and reprogram them and access all that Plus stuff, but you're undoing what you've already done because when you update the receiver, it will make it as if it's brand new, like a factory reset does. So on a new bind and fly that comes with AS3X Plus receiver, yeah, then your NX10 will work just fine with it. And on your old planes, the worst thing that would happen is that you would have to rebind it. But if you want the Plus, you would have to update the receiver, and then you are redoing everything from what I've seemed to gather. It's flying planes just like before, but you don't have the Plus in forward programming with that receiver, right, Jeff? Unless you've also done the receiver. Is what I understand, and I would assume. Good to know though, Jeff. So yeah, Axel, Jeff's updated his radio, but not his receivers, and he's just fine with his old planes, like no problem. They're just like they were before, really. Did you have to rebind them, or were they good to go? You don't really have to rebind them unless you update the receiver. You do a factory reset on the receiver, which yeah makes it like a new off the shelf receiver. But if you don't update it to the Plus, it's just still won't have the Plus. Yep. That's good to know, Jeff. Yeah, yeah. So Jeff confirms that Axel, you update the NX10, your old planes will be fine. But again, you won't have the AS3X Plus to mess with unless you also update the receiver. But moving forward on new bind and flies that have it, you'll be good. Dan Zimmerman, yes. So the USB programming cable SPMA 3065 is what you need to update the receiver. And it's really easy. And you really need that and that Spectrum Beta Programmer app so you can get the serial number to register and update that receiver. Yep. That Jerry, I should watch those. Jerry says there's a bunch of good videos on it from Horizon. CVO says Brian Phillips. Okay, guys, so schedule half day. And check out Brian Phillips' video on the Dynam ME262 where he goes over the nose wheel gyro setup. Dan, that's what I'm saying. If it's not broke, I'm not fixing it. But I think moving forward into the future, it's cool. And I think me being a YouTube dude, I guess it makes sense that I know how to do it because I think a lot of people want to know, and I think it's not a bad idea for a guy like me to learn how to do it. It's only about a 4-hour video. Yeah, but the info is there, which is cool. Pretty fine. Mountain RC likes the hand launch assist on the AS3X Plus. So, you know what I used to do for hand launch assist? 3 to 5 up clicks of trim, throw it in safe, and let it rip. Throw it like you want it to go somewhere. Like as if it didn't have power, you wanted it to go somewhere. What's up, Bobby? Craig, who's Tampa playing? Dude, the Packers did not perform tonight. Who did you guys want to win, Ohio versus Texas? I kind of wanted Texas to win just because I think it's going to be easier for Notre Dame to beat them. But Ohio, dude, that's going to be a good one. The Bills play today? I love the Bills. I didn't get to watch them. Did they play today? The Bills are doing good right now. Who's it going to be in the bowl? What's up, John? Yes, Rightsa. That's it. Washington. Dang, the Broncos, they just have not showed up this year. Can we toss the Viper 90 then? No. No. You can toss one in your shopping cart, though. Detroit's going. Is that a sure thing at this point? Oh, nice, John. That would be sick. I feel like it's going to be. Are the Chiefs still in it? They're still in it. Notre Dame versus Ohio. Notre Dame wins by 3. I already am anxious if it's that close of a game. I do get fired up about Notre Dame, man. It's rubbed off on me living here in South Bend. I hope we win by more than that too, so I can relax. Bro, it's a lot easier to take a bad call or a suspect call from the refs when you're doing better. When it's tight, boy, it all matters. I thought there was some serious PEI that didn't get called today in the Packers game. What's up, Fred? Yeah, that was a good game. Yeah, it's hard not to be a Notre Damer around here. And dude, it's been I think we're all digging on Marcus Freeman, man. He's done a good job with him. For real. Yeah. That team has got the right idea right now, man. And Freeman's a big reason. He looks like he could play though still too. Get out there and rough him up. Show him how it's done. Eddie K, you got lots of family in Mishawaka? Nice. Me too. Me too. So what else, man? Talk to me, dudes. What who went for the Ultra Micro Cirrus? I'm a little bit surprised it doesn't have flaps, if I'm being honest. Craig says to Axel, it'll fly right out of your hand, bro. Yeah, but the Viper 90, that's a big plane to be throwing. Yeah, you would have thought it would have had them. Like if it had them, of course it'd cost a little more, but it would slow down even better, especially if they did the flaps the same, which would be hard to do on a micro. And that may be why they didn't do them, because on the Cirrus 1.5 or whatever it is, um, they're slotted Fowler flaps. There you go, Brian. Yeah. Yeah, man. How can you not? It's not like Ball State. Ball State, when you say Notre Dame, people are like, oh yeah. You say Ball State, they're like, who? Yeah, I think so. It would be completely different if they had flaps. It would have been they wouldn't have been like they are on the 1.5 split. Yeah, and that's even more different. I rock and rolled there, man. But their football program didn't make the news much. They had some good basketball teams, though, here and there. I used to hang out with the football team some. It just was all of a sudden like garage pop punk rock got popular and it was kind of mainstream. And so the guys that used to would chase us off and beat us up for riding skateboards now wanted us to play at their parties. So I rock and rolled the for a couple years there, man. We were it on campus, man, playing some of the sporto parties because mainstream had provided a context for where this garage pop stuff made sense. So we were cool all of a sudden. I wouldn't just say punk. I say garage pop is what I'd say. Andy Black, is the low C mini buggy good? I think so. For me, I like bigger stuff. I think it's easier to work on and less liable to have. Also, the one thing I like about the bigger stuff is the parts seem to translate. Some of the really small offerings, you're stuck in that ecosystem of ESC and receiver. But when you get into the bigger stuff, motor, servos, ESCs, sometimes receivers, it all can kind of cross over. But the little stuff has its own thing. So, yeah. Depends what you want to do with it. I'd say the little stuff is cool, but it is what it is too, where it's kind of, I hate to say frail, but if I was getting a little thing, I'd look at those Groms. But I like 10 scale and 8 scale. Yeah. Seriously. What's really nice is when you get a 10 scale that's built like an 8 scale. So you get beefed up gears and everything. Jerry Wilfong, what? The LC80 Toyota, brother? Is that what you're talking about, Jerry? That one? It's awesome. The Pro version is going to be brushless and has portal axles. Otherwise, same truck. I'm sure it's fine too. But for $3 most of you won't know the difference. And honestly, what's the other one? $430? You can get a 2-in-1 unit and a receiver for $100, say $50, and make a straight axle super dope by just adding I don't even know if I do, Bobby. I haven't had to work on them. The Pro version for $450, yeah, it's going to be portal axles, so you're going to get a higher clearance. You get oh, thanks, man. You get the brushless power as well. I like straight axles because there's scale, but portal axles are great too because they do improve your clearance. And if there was any torque twist, it's basically eliminated, So metal gears. Better shocks. On that FMS one, bro, the shocks on mine are good. Jerry, I did a video on this, and I just put it out last week. I took it out to the most difficult place I've ever went crawling, and I took a box stock ready to run before I did anything to it. It's got a 2-speed, and the diffs are locked out. So the Pro has locking and unlocking diffs and the 2-speed. So you're getting more for what you're buying. And that's cool. But just knowing what I know about the crawlers, if you're new to it and you don't want to mess with them and you just want the goods out of the box, then that thing, the Pro version, is dope. Because it's hard to find a 10th scale that's already got a brushless motor in it. So, not bad. Jerry, it is going to be a good bargain in the same way that is for $3. For $430, you're getting a $550 truck if that was Traxxas. Yeah, I need to do that. I'm so close to being done on this travel all though. That's what I'm doing. I'm designing these parts to that's always the problem is when you're done, how do you attach the body? In the past, I've used wood and license plates, and I'm just trying to make now the things I want. Like this even has see these rounded tabs on the edge? It's like this actually. Well, it's like this. Those that kind of holds the floor in, the interior spaces it, and then the round edges go in the body sides. And then this pins into the bottom of the interior and also back here wedges in above the bumper and kind of locks it all in. And then body posts come through it and hold it in. And this is similar for the front because the wheel wells are molded in. So the square in the middle leaves me room to pin the body posts, and this holds it down to the chassis at those inner fenders so it can't move. And there's kind of a lot going on this for a guy who's never done this stuff before. Yeah. What's up, Roy? $3 mm nut. For what they cost, buy another one so you get the tools. Oh. Man, I think flying on the water this summer. I mean, I flew my little ultra micro slow stick in the yard, but other than that, it was out on the water, if I remember right. Nah, man, I flew at the school a couple times since then, but when it was still nice out. You ever take what do you need? A socket? Yeah, the 26 yeah, that's right. The 262 big carbon Z T28 after I fixed it, and the FMS Rafale went out again too. Yeah. Yeah. So I flew maybe a couple times since the water. Yeah. Bobby, dude, I've used if it's a 1.5 or a 2 or a 2.5, I'll take a 2. I'll take one of those bolts and put it in the chuck and use it like a socket. Pro tip on that. Get a little 1.5 hex, screw and use it for your socket. If what you're dealing with is little tiny lugs. Richard, thanks, man. Yeah, that was just a down and dirty, get it done pretty quick. I didn't hack cam at all, but I busted out my phone a couple times, and it's just that was the second time I ran that Willys wagon. It did awesome in the snow, and my travel all actually was ready to go, but I got smaller wheels on it. It just did not have the clearance either. But Kirk, he's got an SCX6 with a Land Rover body on it too. He got Kelly's files and made him one. So that green one in the video is Kirk's. And then I had my Willys, and Sean had his CJ7 with Captain America. Yeah, Bobby, whenever I've been in a bind, that's what I've done. I'll chuck a little tiny one of those socket cap screws, like it's not a tapered head, it's a little taller, and that's worked for me a couple times. Sometimes the little tiny sockets that come with stuff are not great. Like some of the RC four-wheel drive beadlocks, they'll come with a little socket, but man, it's easy to round it out if you're not careful. Yeah, yeah. Viper 90 tossing boss. Y'all are nuts. Cray, cray. Yeah, snow one was fun. I'll do that again. I got to keep cranking on my 6 and lots of little things. Toss from a 50-story building. There you go. Nice. What else, guys? Yeah, like I said, I'm close on this little deal. So I need to shorten it by 5 millimeters from the bottom. And then I'll try it again. I think it is nice. These only take 30, 40 minutes to print. So pretty quick if you got it wrong or right. Mountain RC saw a guy hand launch a 80 millimeter F16. It worked, but it was sketch. I can believe that. That's what she said. I feel like you could make superhero stuff, out of these kinds of things. I'm feeling some Wolverine possibilities. Jerry's waiting on the Super Tucano. Overhand toss the 2 meter Optera. Power off. Dang. I would too, though. Like pusher prop like that. It makes sense. 3D print some ninja stars. That's too good of an idea. You have to make them. Dude, they could hurt you. Eddie K, dude, I hear you on that. I hear you on that. I need to sell some planes. That's what I need to do. I got to make room. I at this point, I have to. I hand launched my 90 millimeter Hobby King Sky Sword. There you go. Bobby's making stuff. Dude, I started watching it, but I didn't get a chance to finish yet. But the Sailors put out a 3D print video today talking about 3D printing. They got the same, bamboo I've got, and talk about some of their earlier prints they've done on other things. Yeah, man. I need to sell them. I want to sell them here, bro. I want to sell them here. I'm not sure I'm going. I don't know when I'll get out of town again for a show. Unfortunately, Muncie, pretty safe bet. It's just hard to think about getting away. Okay. I have on purpose not looked through a whole lot of the stuff that's already been made out there to print because um I I don't want my kids to see it because then they're gonna ask me for stuff. My little ones already asked me for keychains and stuff, like miniature Stanley, like those kids carry like water coolers these days. Yeah, Bobby, man. I'd like to. I'm just not I don't work for myself anymore. It's not the same. And I mean, going from millionaire status entrepreneur to not, it's been tough. So I just got to be very frugal. Jerry, that plane's amazing. I flew Kelly's. It was so good. So good. Yeah, I know. I know. Life is stupid when you cut your finger cleaning the snow off one of your crawlers because the hood latch on your fake little 1/10 scale Willys wagon is so legit. Yeah. Yeah, dude, that flew neat. It was inspiring enough that I took out my pits, the time or 2 after that. Oh, Fab Rats just liked my reply back to them, I think. That might have been someone else. I took a screenshot of it, saying those edges. Yeah, it's the little tiny hood latches, the fake ones. And I was legit at the end of the thing yesterday, just wiping the snow off the fender, bro. And it got me good, bro. I was like a stuck pig. Awesome how fast you've learned how to uh, 3D print, I assume you mean. But yeah, thanks. I really have to say the bamboo made it easy. And I think if you watch the sailor's video, I have a feeling I already know what he's going to say. Um, the problems that you could have or used to have in bed leveling and temperatures and things like that are just issues you do not have to worry about when you have one of these modern kind of plug and play deals. Now I can print my own 3D articulated, even 3D printed finger prosthetic after I chop this one off the rest of the way. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I suppose I probably don't need this anymore. I don't. Yeah, it's pretty easy. I really like how I can keep up with it via my phone. Like I can see what's going on with the print even if I'm not around the printer. And it's all wireless. So I'm not hooked up. My computer's not hooked up to it at all. My phone's not hooked up to it at all. It's all Wi-Fi. So yeah, I like it. And I'm very glad that they answered my email, you know. Not really, Roy. I printed off some cockpit stuff and some fake instrument panels, but that's really about it. And nothing functional yet, but like some cockpit files. I would like to, even if I don't FPV, I'd like to emulate FPV footage because I think I do have to just resolve to the fact that whatever airplane videos I make, it's going to be by myself. So when the hat cam and the fixed camera on the runway isn't capturing anything, I think the downwind leg, you go to the onboard camera and you can fill in, you know, with those kinds of shots. Sweet, Jerry. Yeah. Yeah. And I've out all the stuff I printed, I've only just now started making designing my own files. 2017. What's your opinion on the transmitter when you're flying? I like the NX10 is what I have. Easy. Programs like a DX radio, so the learning curve is minimum. Not much extra to learn. Very capable of doing anything I need it to do. So I like the NX10. Hall effect gimbals, upgradable, updatable. I mean, it's got 20 channels if I need them. I don't need them, but if I did, I have them. Voice alerts and those kinds of things are also available. I personally do not want talked to by my radio when I'm flying. I'm good. All I need is the timer, that kind of stuff. It's the only kind of telemetry I'm ever after. Um, Sick. Yeah, Bill. Exactly. Exactly. And I want to figure out tilt and pan. And even if it's not FPV, just to go with the stick movements. So I mean, I remember putting a Mobius in cockpits and I had him turn with rudder or aileron or whatever. And if you see the video and the way I cut it into the footage, a lot of people assumed it was FPV. And if I'm just trying to make an artifact, a video, it doesn't matter if it's FPV or not. It's just it's all about what it looks like. I'm not trying to trick anybody, but I am legit just trying to make a good video. I would like to do, I think FPV is something I'm ready to kind of try. And I've kept some of my bigger planes like the HSD 182 and some of the big planes I keep for that purpose, especially that HSD 182 with the cockpit the way it is. And my big de Havilland Beaver I have still. That thing's on floats, so it actually should fly on snow again. And it's fixed. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the NX8 at all. The 10 is what I have, and it's got the Hall effect gimbals. That's about the only difference. You've got two slider wheel trim potentials on the back side of the 10 that you don't have on the 8. I don't need them anyway, you know. But I've only wore out the sticks on a radio once. So as much as I appreciate having the whole effect magnetically operated gimbals, I'm sure I'd be fine if I had an NX6 and it was fine too, and a DX9 and a DX8 and a DX6i. Um, I probably had a DX6 in there too at one time. I need to learn the IX radios, but I'm prefer the NX10. Yeah, Richard. It's gonna be like exactly like yeah, I got the NX7E too. Yep, that's right. Bill, I'll have to check that out. I'll have to come back in the chat to find it though. 2 DX8, DX9 black, NX10. Yeah, dude. Some of those won't talk to each other on the transfer of files. So you're stuck um doing them manually. Now some radios will, but some don't. Cromer, Q Romer. Got it. It is good to have a backup radio because if you do ever have to send one in, you'll be without it for a little while. Not forever, but a little while. Nice, Jeff. What's up, you? Yeah, man. I think everybody's rooting for Detroit right now. Right. Yep. That's right, Jerry. Remember when there were no updates ever? Richard Hensley wants to know when you're ready to do it, Jeff. Nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That guy's fun to watch though from Tampa though. I can't lie. I always want to call him Buster Poindexter, but that's not his name. What's that cat's name? What's that dude's name from Tampa? I can never remember it. Buster Poindexter. That ain't it. Thanks, Pops. Buster Poindexter. What's his damn name, man? Barker. Baker Mayfield. Buster Poindexter. What? Yeah, Baker Mayfield. Two last names. That's it. Busta Rhymes. That's it. Well, what's up, Paul? You know you can put reverse thrust on that Aero Scout. What's up, boss? Buster Poindexter. Nice. Yeah, that's a good one. I think that 800 millimeter Draco flies better than the big one. Yeah. And you can't go wrong. 3S or 4S. It depends what you want it for, but the 3S keeps it nice and light. I liked it that way. And of course, and I liked it on the 4S Power as well. We did a great video, me and Dylan, on that one. Games tied. Oh man. I think what's the next micro you guys would get? I know what the next one I would get is. That I want. Boss, you had your base camp out in the snow? Nice. From the way you made it sound, your snow was awfully deep. Any more snow than we had, I wouldn't have been able to get through it. OV10, not what you want them to make. What you would get, but also what you want them to make. That's a good one too. A Viper Micro would be sweet. Mosquito with 3S, man, they had one. A Sparrow Scout, dude, their mini Arrow Scout. Do not. I wouldn't. A Micro Texan? Only if they do a big one first. Otherwise, I'd be mad. Layer of ice about 3 inches under top coat. Yeah, that's a lot of snow. The base camp's amazing, but it doesn't weigh nothing. Like, I think why I worked in the snow was because my thing was heavy, dude. My truck is heavy. Hellcat. That's cool. For me, I want that Waco. I want that little ultra micro Waco, dude. Fred still has the ultra micro Mosquito. Jerry says he's heard about a SWS plane coming out. Wouldn't surprise me. Dude, I would love a bigger PT-19 with the airfoil tail. But I wonder what it'd be, man. If it's SWS, would they do a Pawnee or an air tractor or something? They've had them in the past. Yeah, I like bigger too. But I just personally want that Waco. I like the little pits. I think the Waco fly even slower, which is what I want a micro for, not to go fast. That's why I think it'd be cool, little Viper and little hot rod, but I'd rather have my hot rods just be big. Um EC 1500 UMX, that'd be cool probably. And I think it'd be able to slow down. Yeah, little Waco is probably good, dude. A big Mosquito, yeah. That'd be sick. I mean, shoot, make it 1800, forget it. Make it 1800. And wings break away outboard the nacelles. Ultrix. Yeah, it's a good one. That's a good one. The Ultra Micro Ultrix did so good, they made the bigger one. I remember watching the free wing videos of the Mossy from Banana or somewhere, and the wings flex so much, I was like, "Nah." And then I watched somebody else do a video on it, and, they made it look like you had to fix so much out of the box that I was like, "Forget this." Too much information, you know what I'm saying? A 350 or Cessna 2 minute, yeah, dude. That people love that crescendo. So, from what I understand, that slows down really nice and is also a little ripper. Yeah, what a rocket ship. I wonder how it slows down. I thought it did slow down pretty good, actually. The Champ, that's a good one. The Champ was a good one. That Ultra Micro P47 was a good one. So was the Wildcat. Cessna 410, Beach 58, Diamond D62, all good stuff. 1.2 Warbirds, they're hard to beat. They're good. I don't have the weather for painting, but I thought about bringing down my P47 and starting to mask it off, but I don't want the tape to sit on it very long. I want to when I tape it up, I want to paint it. Yeah, I like the 4S 3200 on those. And um even the 3S, 3300s, 32, whatever it is, are pretty good size battery, but of course not the same power. But I was always amazed that something like a 59-inch wingspan Timber Evolution would actually fly pretty good on a 2200 3S or 2200 4S, which doesn't seem like it's going to be enough, but it was. I was always surprised by that because I would fly the video with the 3200s like I prefer and wanted to use, and for a maiden flight also I wanted to be um more weight in the nose. And then we'd go ahead and fly a light battery just because we knew not everybody had 3200s. And then I would continue to be impressed. And it always surprised me. Always surprised me. Yeah, and they're fast. And they've got the weight. It's just it's a sweet spot, that size range. The Focke-Wulf 190 is a good plane. I really wish I still had that and the Mustang. Yeah. My P40 is it's almost it's a little bit of shelf queen. I kind of want another one. but that doesn't make any sense. Fly the one you have. SWS Ultimate, like Ultimate Biplane? I flew the Ultimates a few times, man. I don't know. Maybe I should try it again. I think bigger would help, you know, sport wood scale, sport wood series, single white snake. I like the classic looks of the older biplanes. Yeah, a little bit. But I think a bigger Ultimate would be fun. I'm just not the guy to show it off. Like those things look so purpose built for a lot of throwing them around that I always feel like I'm not quite up to the muster on them. So in that rate, I'd like, all right, the pits, although capable, look so old school. Um, I feel justified in just keeping it nice and easy. PT-17, man, you can't go wrong. P-51B, those look nice. Splinter when smashed, SWS. Crazy talk. You need a new airplanes. Yeah, and they sell old ones so I can get some new ones. When I go, if I go wood, yeah, it's going to be no retracts. No retracts yet. Anyways, I think keep it fixed gear for me. Yeah, I don't want to sell them. I just need to if I want new ones. I don't have the space. There's no warehouse. There's no shop anymore. Dude, I dug that FMSB model. We worked it up hard. That's why I think a PT-19 would be great. Bigger though, a little bigger. And when you're making Warbirds, dude, I don't want fun scale. I want them to look. I mean, I'm not counting rivets, but I want it. I want it to look right. But on something that doesn't exist, you can't get it wrong on a timber because it's a model and it's ish. It's like so many other things. Oh, dude. Keep me posted, guys. Dude, Mike Bird, you're not the only one. Yeah. Early Mark. I feel like Mark 9 and below are the best looking ones. Some guys would disagree, but 3 4-bladed prop, that's enough. The nose gets awfully long by the time they're putting 5 blades on them. The obvious one, it flies good. It's heavy, like a Warbird really ought to be. That motor on that obvious one is a honker for what it is. And wasn't that like a 1450 millimeter? So 57 inches. I thought that one was 1450. But I flew one. It was nice. And I flew the 1600 a lot. And it's nice, but it's almost it's almost not heavy enough, which sounds crazy, but true. Yep, 1450. The wing loading proportions, I think if you could get the 1600 to proportionally break down like that on wing loading, it would feel better. It seems weird to say something's too easy, but the big one was awesome, but it's too easy. I don't know. I still wish I had it, but it'd just be hanging anyway. A big spit would be nice. Bro, I feel like we have the power system on those Carbon Z T28s. Like, I think what you got to do if you're counting pennies and you're a company is, all right, T28. We've got that's our one big one we've had from them forever. What would be a good tail dragger to add to the lineup? And good means a lot of things. In my mind, flight character and ground handling. Pick one. Ask yourself why the Trojan is so hot. Because everybody looks like an ace who flies it. So you need whatever you make to give that same vibe, I think P-47 would be great. But the fact that there's a 1.5 out there may keep them from doing it on the foamy tip. I mean, I would love it. And I would love, I'd love a 2-meter P-47 or T6. And I think if you're picking popular models, bro, honestly, there's a 1.7 Mustang out there, but Horizon doesn't have one. So like a 2-meter Mustang from them would be sick. And what do you think they would make first if you're them, right? You would probably go for a Mustang or a Corsair or something that's super like popular. It is about perfect. It could go a little faster, the 6S 1.5 P-47, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Imagine it. Man, that's what I should do. I think my FMS 6S P47 needs a Carbon Z T28 motor or something. That might be a good idea to wake that up a little bit. Bonsoir, et vous que est el devoteur? Hello. I don't know exactly what that means, but it seems like maybe you've been watching the channel for a long time, or you're thinking it's awesome that there's this many people here talking about it. I don't know. I don't know French. Je m'appelle Stuart Stevenson. A big P38 would be nice. Suspension struts or forget it. I like the pits. I have the pits. I like it. Dude, a Carbon Z Wildcat would be amazing. It's the landing gear. You have to think. I mean, pipe dreams are cool. Dream hard because it's a dream. But my analytical mind has to think, if I'm going to go to the trouble of designing landing gear for a Wildcat, what else can I use that work for? So there were some biplanes and even some amphib planes that basically have that same landing gear design. So, I mean, that could help justify making one, you know. The Tiger Cat is amazing, bro. That's a good one. A very good one. I regret getting rid of so many dudes. Talk about a museum, dude. If I had everything that I've had, holy smokes. Chandler wants to know if anybody has experience with the Blitzwork RC Works 1100 millimeter P40 from Banana. I love P40s. Trying to decide between it and a Freewing F18. Look at the FMS P40B, the 1400 millimeter, 1450, whatever it is. That's what. If you're into P40s, look at the FMS P40B. That's what I'm saying. It's 4S and kicks butt on a 650 kV can. Zero would be good. They do fly good. And I mean, you can still get the 1400, I think. But a big one would be sweet. A doink off the upright, but it went through. Yeah, it's a weird question, to be honest. Like Freewing F18 versus a Blitzwork P40. If those are the only two options, I'd go for the jet, I guess. But I'd say get rid of the 1100 option and look at the FMS P40. If you like P40s, like you say, I think it's sick. It's 5 a.m. in France. Is that it? Roy said John flew a 1700 Corsair today. Stock? Stock, Roy? Golly, I thought that thing was lame power-wise. I think it's impressive, though. Build, or the looks of it. Stock. 6S? Golly. I don't know, man. I wouldn't. I needed more power out of it, but it's impressive. That's a nice way to say slow, Jerry. It does fly scale. Yeah, but nothing else does, right? Everything else is extremely powerful, power to weight. And so scale just seems slow as shit to me. Uh that's cool. That's Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, just not here. Your buddy had 3 of those FMS 1700 Corsairs. Why 3 though? Tell me why. Couldn't keep it up or what? Should I ask his doctor? Could repower it. Yeah. Apparently guys put it on 8S and it still sucks. I think the prop needs changed because it's just designed to stall. It just stalls out. I'm not trying to be mean. I wanted to like it. I really did want to like it. RC Jet Lab, what's happening? Kept hitting trees and light poles. Couldn't get high enough to avoid them. Right? Anybody have an 80 millimeter F-22 yet? I'm surprised they made that one. They got a 90 and a 70, right? Already. Gosh, hard to beat that 90. I'm curious about that 80 a little bit because, man, the 90 was awesome. He had the money, never repaired his planes. Yeah, so he put down 3 of them. Or 2 of them. Still has one. Something. Wasn't fast enough. And the 80 is almost the same price. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. What do they got? They got a 64, the 80. Did they do a 70? So that means the 64, 70, and 80 and a 90. I mean, I guess put it on lock so nobody can do it. Because people can still make things, but they won't. 2-meter Corsair. It's got to be fast enough. That's my thing, John. I don't know. Unless it's, did you lose your designer? And it's like they already had that, so we need to make a project. Let's just shrink this one down. I don't know. I haven't had a really good look at the 80 to see what's up with it. I'm getting something to drink, and then we're going to go in a little while. What about an 80-90 F-35? What's funny to me is when you look at an F-35, it looks like it should fly similar to the F-22. I don't think it does. A bigger one, Now they have an F-35, I think, that has bit more wing on it than the regular F-35. I think that would help it. I think it needs it. It needed to come in pretty hot. Yeah. It was cool, but, you look at it and, like, for me, I look at it and I'm like, "This is gonna be like a F-22." Not really. Not really, though. Not like you not like it looks like it's gonna be. Something about AS3X Plus, new plane, something E-flite. Sorry, I wish I knew, bro. A 90, yeah. Yeah, the VTOL version would be sick. The FMS P40 is nice. I've had lots of planes, and I've gotten rid of lots of planes. I still have the P40. I think that says a lot about things sometimes. Why are there no more new planes from E-flite? There are, man. Super Timber, SWS Timber. They just released a Cub from Hangar 9. The new Ultra Micro Cirrus. Um, Ultra Micro offerings have been released. The Sportix, the Decathlon. What else? There's been a handful. And then kind of, I hate to say repops, because if it's a different size, um, you know, the little Viper, you know what I mean? Dynam just released a Cirrus. I find that hard to believe. Enlighten me. They used to have one already. They had one that was like Harbor Freight style. Yeah, that thing. If don't be fooled, they changed the paint. Maybe Ultra Micro does not make the masses happy, says John Graham. And I think when it comes to us guys that have been around it for a while, yeah, it doesn't do it for us. But I think price point has been the leader in vehicles and planes. Um, and I think that boils down to consumer confidence in the economy and everything else. Um, Everybody's making small stuff. And at that rate, they're aiming for the beginner, not sustaining those of us who are hardcore. So I'm just saying what I notice, not that it's right. V3 Cirrus SR22, I wouldn't bother. If they still make the 1.5, and now they got the little one. Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong, John. I just think that's what's moving the needle. I told y'all. I told y'all when the Beach 18 came out and the Falk Wolf came out, if you want to see those kinds of planes, you got to buy those kinds of planes when they come out. And us 30 guys in the room aren't going to move that needle if every one of us did it. But that's the problem. How badass is the 1.5 Mustang? We got lucky they did a Falk Wolf, and there's been nothing else Warbird style that way. And I think 6S on that size was awesome because they still ripped, you know. First twin you purchased was the ME262. Still have it in the box. How'd it go for you? I've got experience with those and the Freewing one and the HS2 one and a little tiny E-Flight one. There's no way you haven't had to change the components. There's no way if you're flying it. And it comes, bro, that thing popped off so fast. The incidence wasn't right. Something on the tail or the nacelles on that thing. It just noses up pretty bad. I mean, once you get it dialed, it's all right. But I would love a Hurricane. It's more plane than most can handle, I think. The coupling is really weird with it on the rudder. But it can be mixed. It can be engineered out. Avenger. Yeah. I feel like the gear legs are long on an Avenger, which work against it in a way. Yeah, dude, I love the way Hurricane flies though. Dude, I had that E-Flight Hurricane and I got it figured out. It was awesome. And it was at the time thought it was big, but it was like it might have been 51 inches or something. Yeah, the LXP40, great, neat, interesting size, but you just kind of already know you're going to be redoing all the electronics, which isn't always awful. 1.5 Bearcat. Yeah, that'd be mean. It'd be huge too. You know, nobody has said the Texan. Yeah. Ground Loop City. I would love it. And you engineer some washout in the tips, it will help a lot. And the nice thing about a Texan for strength, the gear legs are short and they're way up front with a forward rake. They're actually really great in the grass. They don't, because the gear legs being so short and out in front, like real forward placement of the retracts on the T6. It makes them really good in the grass. And because they are such a ground looper, if you can get away with a grass on one, it's going to make you look that much better. I love the way T6 flies. On the ground, they are wicked, but they are very aerobatic. I had that. I flew that 1700 P-47. It's on 8S. It needed that. Yeah. The only problem with that is the construction methods of it. It's old school compared to what we're into now, but once it's built, it doesn't matter. The It's a bubble top though, so that sucks. Depending who you ask. Wild Bill had the top flight Texan. Yeah, I like prop jobs too. You put a blue box in it. Texans are tricky. You better be on your rudder game. And once you get slow enough to not tip the wings, the real ones, they lock the tail, bro. They lock the tail for takeoff. So even the landing, I'd imagine the tail's locked until they get slow enough to unlock it. And it's still a ton of rudder work to keep it. And man, I'm telling you, it's at American Aviation. They designed the ground loop into them. I mean, if you look at the Texan, it's a tube slapped on top of a stick, and they fill it up to it. And that proportion makes it tougher in the ground loop than something like a Wildcat or a P-47 or a Hellcat that's got a little bit of weight hanging down there low. The dihedral's fine. It's the tips and the way it stalls is what gets you on the T6. It's a little bit short coupled. So it's super responsive. And then again, it is really a tube laid on top of a stick. If that wing was up into the fuse a little bit, it would be way different. Yeah, there's no good Texans right now unless you can find the best foamy one I ever flew was the E-Flight one. I still have it. It's highly modified, yellow and shelf queen lights, landing lights. I put 4S power system in it. And it's bad to the bone. Ooh, yeah, boss. They're good though. They're good. And a bigger one would be easier to deal with. The Texan, man, it trained everybody, Navy guys and Air Force pilots. So you can land it 3-pointer style or you can land it on the mains. It's up to you. The mains will easier to keep the model in one piece if you land it on the mains, if you ask me. I had my yellow T6 at a show in Muncie, and the Timber Brothers' dad was giving me a hard time for not hitting 3-pointers. I was like, all right, fine. So I did it both ways. I did mains and 3-point landings, but the mains landings are definitely easier. Yeah, it's easier said than done, though, John. Yeah. There's really cool old training videos on this stuff. I actually have a playlist of old vintage training films for full scale somewhere on this channel. And it's cool, man, because it's the old military training videos. I learned a ton of maneuvering and stuff from those videos that I applied to the models. Yeah, man. Gyro on the tail wheel. Yeah. Well, like I'm saying, in the real one, even with the tail wheel locked, it's a handful. So, I mean, I remember grandpa's tail wheel, you could see the belts through it. So, it it's it would help to have it locked, but it's still gonna be a T6. My first T6 I had was the GWS ones, and really and they were hand launched, and it was really one of the first Warbirds that I had really good, um, success with, but belly landing it. Any advice on going from DX9 to IX14 or just keep the DX9? Keep the DX9 as a backup and go to the IX14 if that's what you want, is what I'm saying. If you're missing features that are offered, though, modern day, and you're wanting access to them, and if the DX9 doesn't give them to you, then the NX10 or NX8 is going to feel right at home. If you're already used to the DX9, then the NX series will be right at home. DX9 is a great radio. If it's doing everything that you want it to, you can get forward programming, you can do what you want to do. Keep it. I'm just saying, get what you want in life. If you can swing it, get it. But it's not bad having a backup radio. I mean, the nine's already discontinued, isn't it? Where I don't even know where you'd buy one. It's still a good radio that's current enough to be fine. It's all about the DSMX protocol, but there's enough of those around. I think they'll be supported probably for a while. Yeah, it's still a great radio. But yeah, like it's all about the learning curve to me. Like, how much of that do you want? If you're okay with learning a new interface, tapping and pinching and screen time, I mean, I think the people that have the IX radios enjoy them. To me, they're a little bit like my cell phone. It will do way more than I ever need it to. So I like keeping my hobby simple. So like for me, go to DX from DX radios to NX radios was like super easy. Super. I'm not sure I even opened the book. I didn't need to because it was super familiar. Yeah. Dude, 2-hour show. I'm fitting to wrap it up. So last minute, whatever. If you are shopping, go to the links in the description and click through to your favorite brands. The website's not there anymore, but you can still do what you do. If you want to help support the channel with that affiliate stuff, you can. I appreciate it. Yeah. Check out the Crawler show. Thursday we do I have to tell you what the name of it is because it's ridiculous. Come by the Thursday show. It's in the description of all the videos, man. Pilot Ryan Horizon or whatever. Message me if you can't find it. I'll make it happen. Let's see. The Thursday show goes down at 9:30 also, 9:30 Eastern time. And it's called My RC Tiny Truck Fab Garage Show Episode Live. Stupid name, stupid show. RC Jet Lab, thanks, man. Yeah. I'm still at it, you know. I've been doing a lot of truck stuff and 3D printing and things like that, but I'm not going anywhere. Pop in Wild Bill's channel tomorrow night for the Real Flight Fly-In, 9:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 California, Arizona time. Check that out. And you know, we're doing this thing on Sundays, man. Still. So it's about you, not me. Because you guys are flying more than I am, but I mean, I'm still into it. I'm just not out there doing it as much. It's been actually a kind of nice break, so to say, because there's no more pressure. So it's nice. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Check out the videos, man. Really, Jeff? Hold on a minute now. I'll have to put it back in there. If it's not, it's in descriptions. It's just maybe it managed to not get in some of the newer ones. It's in the descriptions though. It's just, again, maybe not the new ones. Yeah, check out Wild Bill tomorrow. Cromer. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'd like to do that to trucks too. The FPV thing, because if it's camera rolling, even if it's not on my face, I'd be getting some cool footage, I think. And that's what I want to do, is just make good videos. The last couple crawler videos I think are pretty good. The last few airplane videos are not bad either. So check it out. And check out your friends. We'll see you. Follow on social, all that baloney. And there's ways to hit me up in Instagram messages, Facebook messages, even the comment sections. If you're, I don't have the site anymore, so if you need anything, let me know. We'll see you in the next one. We're out here in 5. Hanger Rats forever. We'll throw you later. You're too good to be forgotten. We'll see you next time. Bye now. Boom.